I'm Simon Ward from the triathloncoach.com, your official Outlaw and Outlaw Half coaches for 2016. I'm also one of the race day commentators, so you are going to be seeing and hearing a lot more from me in the next few weeks, both at the start line and the finish, and in some of my upcoming videos. It's with that in mind that I wanted to bring you today's video, helping you to get to the start line. So if we go onto this screen here, I'm going to disappear for a bit and you're going to see my slides come up now. 6 weeks to go. What should you be focusing on right now? So the general things, you need to know the race details. They will be published soon, and I think there will be a notification on Facebook of the exact address where you can go to get the general details for the race. But specifics that you should know of: the race venue. Sounds obvious, but some people don't know where Home Pierpont or Holcombe Hall is. It's up to you to find out. I don't think we'll be emailing you this stuff out. You also need to know what time you have to be there at the venue to register. A lot of people turn up late on a Saturday afternoon, having raced up the M1 or across the country, to find that they're right on the cut-off, and that gives them very little time to put their bike into transition. So know what the registration time is. Know when you are racking and when you're able to rack your bikes. You should then know what time your start is. There are different waves going off and everybody will be at different start times depending on their age group, so make sure you know when yours is. That's also relevant for getting into transition to attend to your bike on race morning, because once some of the early waves are off, you may not be able to get into transition or you'll have limited access. Again, we'll tell you at the race briefing, so that's something else you need to make sure you know about. Evaluate the course and make yourself aware of where the course goes, particularly on the bike and the run. Examine and review the race rules and regulations. For example, this is a non-drafting race. What is the drafting distance? Do you know? Is it between the front wheel of your bike and the back wheel of another? Is it between the front wheel of the guy in front and your front wheel? It's up to you to know what the distance is and what the rules are. Also, please be aware that you won't be able to run or ride wearing headphones. That's against the rules in just about every triathlon in the world. And please don't turn up to the race briefing saying, "Oh, I always run in my headphones." It's not allowed. Finally, parking. Where are you going to be able to park, to register, to rack, and on race morning? There's bound to be a lot of people turning up on race day, and if you're in a queue and you're up against the time limit, you're going to be panicking a little bit. So make sure you're aware of that and how far it is to walk to transition. Accommodation, again, sounds obvious, but have you checked that your accommodation is reserved? Where is it in relationship to the venue, and how long is it going to take you to travel there on race morning? Work it out in advance and put that into your plan. Finally, nutrition. On race day we'll have High Five. Are you going to be using it? Have you tried it? If yes, make sure you use it in training and not just to sip while you're going about your everyday business. If you're not going to use High Five, then you'll have to be self-sufficient, and if so, what are you going to use? And please make sure you try that in training. Okay, so talking about training then, the first thing we need to concern ourselves about is the swim. Are you able to swim the distance? It's 1900 metres, which is 72 lengths of a 25 metre pool, or the alternatives based on what length you have available. There's a cut-off. Can you make the cut-off? It's 1 hour and 10 minutes per 100 metres. It's actually about 3 minutes and 20 per 100 metres that you have to swim at. Okay, so you need to be able to swim those times. Can you do 19 times 100 starting every 3 minutes 15, for example? Or just do a straight through 1900 and see how long it takes you. But you have 1 hour and 10 minutes to make the cut-off, and we generously give you an extra 10 minutes to get through transition if you intend to continue. Have you tried your wetsuit on yet? This is important. Wetsuits seem to tighten up in the winter, or maybe it's just my girth getting larger, but nevertheless there may be some nicks and tears in it from last season that you've forgotten about. Maybe your wetsuit is in such bad condition that it needs replacing. Either way, with 6 weeks to go to the race, you're leaving it a bit late to get it changed, so check it now, and once you've checked it, get in the water. If it's in good, clean condition, most pools will let you in with the wetsuit on, and you should try swimming. and that will be something that's important for Outlaw Half Nottingham athletes in that with 6 weeks to go, it may not be warm enough yet to train in the open water. That's the next thing we need to talk about, open water skills. You can develop a lot of these in the pool. In fact, you should practice drafting, sighting, group swimming skills, particularly important. A lot of people get freaked out by swimming amongst other people. There's no need. Really, even in a group of 200 or 300, you only have to worry about the 1 or 2 people in front of you and either side, and maybe the person who's just behind you. So 5 or 6 people, not 200. Okay, they've got other groups of 5 or 6 they need to be worried about. Of course, when the open water venue that you train in is available, please make it a priority to get down there and swim. There are differences, even when you've practiced it, open water skills in the pool, there are differences about being in open water, particularly the darkness, the fact that there's no line on the bottom to follow, and you have to be much more proficient at navigating. And make sure you're safe, of course. Don't swim on your own in these venues. Onto the bike. As with the others, can you do the distances? 56 miles. Can you make the cut-off? It's 5 hours and 20 after your wave start. So even if you take the full 70 minutes for the swim, that gives you 4 hours and 10 to complete the bike, which is an average of 22 kilometers an hour, just over 13.2 miles per hour. Can you sustain that for four and a bit hours? With your race bike, with 6 weeks to go, you really ought to be riding that bike regularly. Race bikes are not like high-performance sports cars where you take them out on dry days and sunny days only. They should be ridden in order for you to become biomechanically efficient. You may want to use aero bars on the day, and that's great. Aero bars are allowed, but please make sure that you've got used to them first. Not only will it be more dangerous if you're not comfortable on them for you, you'll feel uncomfortable. So have them fitted, and if necessary, have a bike fit. With 6 weeks to go, don't do it the week before. Your body needs time to adapt to the new position, and you need time to become efficient. Likewise with new kit, any new kit on the bike, new pedals, new gearing, make sure you're used to that in advance. And any new clothing, make sure you've tried it out in anger, so it's not new on race day. And finally, repeating that, ride your race bike regularly. Bike servicing. It's up to you to turn up to the event with a roadworthy bike. We will of course have service on site, but they're bound to be busy with other people who've forgotten to get their bike serviced. So if you don't want that stress, get your bike serviced now, or get it done at least 2 weeks before the event, so that you know that the basics work, the chain isn't crudded up, that the gears work, that the brake cables are in good shape, and that the brake pads are new and fully functioning. You don't want worn brakes. But again, to reiterate, please don't leave it till the last minute. Okay, with running, not too much to do here. Can you do the distance? It's 13.1 miles. Can you make the cut-off? It's 9 hours, which is, even if you just make the cut for the bike, you still have 3 hours and 40 to finish, which is just under 6 kilometers an hour. You could, at a pinch, walk that and finish. Hopefully you'll have a bit more of a cushion getting off the bike, and your average pace will be even slower. But if you're thinking that you're going to take the full 9 hours, that's the minimum of what you need to do. Okay, now run shoes are really the main bit of kit. Most of you probably be wearing tri-suits or running kit, but for running shoes, if you're getting new shoes for race day, please make sure you get them now, wear them in advance. Even the same pair of shoes, a new pair is going to be a little tighter, a little stiffer, so they may feel uncomfortable the first time out. So buy them and wear them now. Okay, just some general points. In a minute. Here we go. Training, just some overall guidelines for training. In the last 6 weeks, just be consistent. Most of your fitness will be there. So you should try and avoid injury and illness. That really does induce some panic. But if you do succumb to a minor injury or a mild illness, don't panic. As long as you nip it in the bud very quickly, you won't lose too much fitness and you'll be okay on race day. Alright, it'll be your confidence which takes a knock more than your fitness. Be specific about your training. Train in open water, ride your race bike, run after you've finished cycling. Some of the things that happen in triathlon. Okay, go out on your own to simulate riding in a non-drafting format. Yes, of course, this is an endurance event, but don't forget some intensity. Endurance will help to make sure you complete the distance. The intensity will help you to do it a little bit faster. Don't go don't go overboard on either of those. Probably 20% intensity, 80% endurance is a good ratio to consider. Make sure you build in the sleep at this big time in your training. The last few weeks are always where the biggest training comes in. You need to make sure you're getting the sleep to match that, so you're getting the recovery. And whilst you're doing that, make sure you focus on day-to-day nutrition. With 6 weeks to go, it's a reasonable concern to be thinking about race day nutrition, but one day of good eating won't make up for the 6 weeks of poor eating before, so don't forget what you do on a daily basis with your food. Okay, so that's it for now. It's very simple. I'm sure you'll have some more questions after you've watched this video, so if you do, all you need to do is paste them on the Facebook page for the Outlaw. Here's the address, facebook.com/Outlaw Triathlon/. Make sure that you tag me, I'm Simon Ward, so I can answer them for you. Alright, and that's it. All that remains is for me to wish you a happy and healthy, injury and illness avoiding final 6 weeks, and I'll see you on the start line of either Outlaw Half or Outlaw Holcomb. Take care. Bye for now.